you know, opens your eye up to like, dang,
definitely
what's
does.
going on?
Don't get me wrong. Like, just think about like the whole Jacob Blake situation that went down in Wisconsin, right? The next day there was riots.
To bring that up.
The next day there was riots, right? People dying. You know what I mean?
Wasn't it in the same town where the 17-year-old came in and like shot two people?
Yeah.
Yep,
So let's put some light on this subject because this is very very touchy. Not just for me, but you know I know the our other melanated brothers that are with us today. Right. So Jacob Blake Jr. is a black man, as you all know by now, that was shot 7 times in his back by a police officer. Regardless of what color the police officer is, we all know what color he is, but regardless of that, he was shot by an officer of the law, someone that was supposed to be sworn to protect and serve civilians.
And can I add that if you look at the video, right? I don't care what they say. It was 3 police officers there. 3 versus 1 dude with kids in his car.
Yes.
Okay. Do you see how slow he was moving? Are you telling me that 3 trained police officers? Fuck, if the taser doesn't work, that's fine, right? What other methods do you have, bro? 3 of you guys. What was
the whole call? Like, why did they even show up on scene?
They were there because supposedly it was his girlfriend's house, and she had a restraining order on him,
kind of domestic
and there was
dispute.
some kind of domestic dispute between her and some other woman. So he went to go help break up that dispute, but he's not supposed to be there according to a lot of news resources that I've been looking, CNN and other places. So I guess the police were called possibly by supposedly the girlfriend saying, "Hey, he's here and he's not supposed to be here." So police came and an altercation ensued.
Yeah.
Well, it's a messed up situation. It really is.
And you know what kills me?
It boils down to like just bad policing.
That's literally that's it.
It is bad policing.
What kills me is that the stories that come out like after he dies, and you can tell like whose side people are based on what you hear, because some people will start out the news report and saying like, oh, Jacob Blake was a pedophile. He had a history of messing with cops and stuff like that.
Okay, but what was his history of that day he got shot?
Exactly.
What was his history that day?
Exactly.
Right. Well, thankfully he didn't die. So that's.
Well, I just hate the justification for murdering him that people are giving. Like they're saying, oh, he was a bad person anyways. But no one deserves to die, because you let one person die like that, and then we can all die like that.
Did they let that 17-year-old child that shot 2 regular civilian protesters die? Did they shoot him? No. They let him.
No, don't get me wrong. He's arrested now.
But he literally, after he shot
stick.
them, he went walking towards the police with his AR and his hands up, and they just let him walk past them.
Right.
That's
and it's not even like, here's the issue too. It's not even the fact that he did that is wrong. It's the fact that if he were a black man and he was doing the same thing, the reaction would be completely different.
Completely different.
Yeah, it's
completely different.
It's a messed up world we live in right now, man.
It's definitely it's different. It's different. It's hard to really talk about these kind of things, right?
It is.
And I'm gonna tell you, it's really hard, right? Because what's going on, what is constantly put in the news, right? And then what is really going on in life. You get what I'm saying?
You
get what I'm saying?
Agree.
You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it's like, all right, so they're gonna put this on the news, or someone's gonna blow this whole story up, like how it is. You get what I'm saying? And then there's other things that are just as crazy as this right here going on, right? But it's a very sensitive subject, because there's just so much bad behind it. So like at the end of the day, I feel like the problem is the police right now. Number one, right? And it's because they're not executing their job correctly. You know what I mean?
Correct. Yeah.
They killed 751 people in 235 days.
And
something like that.
And that's not just with that's not just with one race at all. That's just a general number, right? Which is crazy. Yeah, which is crazy in itself. What's crazy to me, right? So we have all these problems with gun control and all this kind of stuff in America, right? We have, America has to definitely be known as like one of, the countries where things like this happen. People go shoot up the strip. You know, things like this happen in our country. You know what I'm saying? And it boils down to a lot of things, you know, gun control, all this other stuff, giving the right people or the wrong people power. You get what I'm saying?
So my question is, what's the first step that you think we should take?
Bro, okay, first I think for the whole policing thing, right? If you go to like London, stuff like that, they don't carry guns.
No, they don't. I read that.
You understand? They don't carry guns. You understand?
Who don't carry guns?
The London police.
You know, and they do that for a reason.
That's what I've been saying.
They do it for a reason. You get what I'm saying? But the way America was built, you have to look at the history. Like America was always, you know what I mean? This is my country. You're gonna live in it, kind of thing.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. Like,
you know,
we're definitely more dangerous than Britain is. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I don't know what their gun laws are like for citizens, but I don't think they're allowed to just carry around their guns.
If you go
like
normally, that's what I'm saying. Like
they have strict gun laws.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's just like the way America was built off of corruption. You understand? Like everything is corrupt in this, you know, country to where when you want to make a difference, you know, it's like it just the way the system's built, it's difficult because the people in power is almost like they're going to be in power, you know? So like I think what happens is what's happening. This is what happens. You know?
I agree.
This is like inevitable. You know, like you can't fix this. You know, this is just like, you know, like you have to like really.
This is the accumulation of multiple things.
Yes,
you know,
because like if the police police didn't have guns, if
Right.
police didn't have guns, then things would be different for sure, right?
Right. If nobody in the not like no guns, but like if we had very, very strict gun laws from the start, like not now, you can't.
I told you how I would do it. Right.
Go ahead.
So y'all seen Watchmen, right?
Of course.
The TV show.
I seen it.
So the first episode where he pulls over that one guy and he goes back into his cop car and he's like buzzing in to use his gun.
Oh,
it could be a pro and con. It can be a pro and con.
Yes, I remember that.
It would be a mad help if it was something real in real life.
So basically, what happened was, like in the show, there was somebody that was pulled over, right? And obviously, he could tell. Like, I think that particular person was like a KK member or something like that. Yeah. And he needed to use his weapon to basically subdue him and bring him to jail.
The cop.
Yeah, okay. The cop had to. So he goes back to his vehicle, right? And it's like it's sitting in a position where like you can't grab it. You have to put your finger on it and then call in, and they have to give you permission in order to use your gun for that instance.
You have to call.
The problem was in this particular instance is that he didn't get permission fast enough.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you gotta think, danger happens, you need to react just like that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So that there's a con there.
But you're a police officer, right? You know what I mean? So you signed up for this. You know that, hey, you know, this is what I'm stepping into. I'm dealing with criminals, right? Sometimes maybe depend, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's like what you have to sign off. You can't sign off on being a police officer. Hey, as soon as I feel threatened, I'm going to shoot my gun. You know what I mean?
No, anybody that thinks like that should be
never shoot
gone.
their gun first. I mean,
and that's what happens.
And I will say that they did tase in the case of Jacob Blake Jr. They did tase him first, and they attempted to subdue him first, and he still at that point I think he was in flight or fight, and he just wanted to get back to his car, to his kids, and get away.
Yeah, I think
before he felt like his life was going to be ended, possibly because you have one that's tasing you, another one trying to put you in a headlock, and hold on, and then the third one has his gun drawn on you, and you don't know what's going on. He was like, I just came to stop my girlfriend from fighting this other person, even though I know I'm not supposed to be here, but she's in some kind of altercation with some other woman. I'm trying to prevent this, or whatever the case was. Why he was there is besides the point.
Yeah,
the fact that he got. He's paralyzed. The man is paralyzed.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Like, just to play devil's advocate here, even if the cop was justified in shooting, like even if that's the case, 7 times in the back.
No, look, you know what I'm saying? No, the whole thing for me is like that. It all comes down to gun control. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's like you were never supposed to do that. You get what I'm saying? You were never supposed to do that. Even if like they're like in the military, right? I have a cousin that's in the military, right? And I had a conversation with him just about, you know, not this specific subject, but just gun control, you know, briefly, right? And he basically told me, he's like, hey, in the military, the one thing you're trained is you have to go through like 3 different stages before you can shoot your gun. You get what I'm saying?
Interesting.
At an enemy, you have to. There's like I forget the stages. Exactly.
Well, yeah. The comparison is that cops don't have that.
Yeah, like there's 3 different threat. Three different threat
6
levels.
Weeks of training. That's
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's like 3 different threat levels before you can officially shoot your gun and be justified. If you do not do those 3 whatever, then as soon as you go see the next person, you're fucked. You know what I'm saying?
So with that being said, if we have anyone that's in the military that's listening right now, if you know the protocol, please feel free to chime in or leave a comment or
for sure,
please,
because there's definitely stages that they have to go through before they can officially shoot their weapon. And this is what they're trained
before they can even carry it. I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of training that goes with them.
And the cops they
6
don't.
Weeks of training.
Dude, I remember going to like CSN, right? My first year CSN. I remember going there and they have like a little pamphlet. Hey, they almost made being cop easier than going to college. You get what I'm saying? They're like, that's how
honestly it is. It is.
But that's the way they sold it, because the police department needed to fill those seats. You get what I'm saying? So
dude, if you paid them more, they wouldn't need to fill those seats because the good people would want to actually do those jobs. Yes.
You see how
that's another thing.
The whole shit is fucked up.
We need to learn how to actually properly use the weapons that are on our belt and attached to us.
For sure.
Please.
2, we need to add in the wage. Like at least double. Like what are they getting paid? Like 30,000-40,000 a year?
I don't.
Like that's
garbage
money to be shot at.
They're
honestly,
getting paid dirt.
That's garbage money to be shot at. It
so
should imagine 60 to 80.
Bro, imagine the dirt bags really that, hey, this is cool. I could do this. I could be a jerk. I could do this.
Right. And the thing is, like, once you're in long enough, obviously, there are those that make like the 60 to 80, even to 100,000 a year. But you have to work a long time to start making that. Like, I'm talking about like the cops that are coming to your door, to your car door, when they pull you over, those guys are only making like, they're beat cops, bro. They're only making like 30, 40. It should be at least at the bare minimum starting at 60. And the vetting process should be better than that too.
You know what I'm saying too? Look, you know what I'm saying about the police force, right? If we have the military, right, and the military is like trained, our best military ever. Why doesn't the government outsource policing from the military strictly? Because
I know because you don't want to get into a police state now. You don't want too much power in the hands of the government with the military and stuff like that. I see where you're going. I see where you're going.
Because these are like civilians. This is like civilians, just everyday people. But these guys are like more, they're
that's a slippery slope for me.
Okay,
that's a
I get what
slippery
you're saying.
slope.
So what you're saying is basically then we'll turn into like martial law kind of.
Yeah, I don't want. That's basically what it is. That's pretty much. What I'm saying? Like that's
once you involve the military, that's pretty much martial law.
So everything really goes back to putting your vote in your community. Honestly.